Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we will go over 2 new TV spots that have tons of new footage, apply these clips to the most credible plot leaks, and point out that context makes all the difference when it comes to understanding it. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee.
I have spoken.
Welcome back to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell, not once, but twice, as this is the way to be sure that you never miss a new video the second it goes live. Before we throw out any spoiler warnings, I'm gonna play these 2 new TV spots for you, just so in case you haven't seen them yet, that you can get the glimpse of the new footage so that you can better understand what we're about to be talking about. So for those of you who haven't seen that, check these clips out here.
This Christmas, the saga ends.
It's okay that we're here.
It's okay that you're here.
Does she do that to us?
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. This film is not yet rated.
Take my lead.
This Christmas,
They fly now! They fly now!
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. This film is not yet rated.
So as you can see, we still have a lot of new footage in both of these clips, along with some returning footage. Again, we're still seeing a lot of heavy action from the first act of the film, and what we're really going to zero in on in this video in particular is something from the first TV spot. And what I'd like to do is now throw out a spoiler warning for anybody who doesn't want to know anything more about The Rise of Skywalker, as we will be diving into the details of the plot for The Rise of Skywalker in connection with the Jedi Paxis plot leaks. So for that being said, consider this your spoiler warning. So we have this new TV spot where we have our main members of the cast yelling out one another's names. And yes, we hear the typical characters, but the one we really want to zero in on in this episode of Star Wars Coffee in particular is Rey yelling Chewbacca's name, and what this means in terms of leaks. So as you know, the Jedi Paxis leaks are the most credible. You know that especially if you've been following the channel and have watched the full movie leaked that I made. And you will see that this TV spot, if you were consciously watching it with those leaks in mind, should have tipped you off to that spot in particular where Rey yells Chewie. And what I'd like to do before we continue to dive further into this is read the part that justifies this in the Jedi Paxis plot leaks. This is at the very tail end of Act 1, and it's where Rey and the gang are on Pasaana trying to escape the First Order. So without further ado, I'm going to read that description from the Jedi Paxis plot leaks. Quote, Rey senses that Kylo is coming for her, so she takes off on her own to confront him and buy her friends some time. This is where the TIE Interceptor flip sequence that we've seen so many times takes place. While Kylo and Rey are engaged, the Knights of Ren and the First Order head to Ochi's ship and our other heroes. Chewbacca splits off from the crew and attempts to delay the Knights, but is captured. The dagger is taken from him, and he boards a First Order prisoner transport. Rey and Kylo both notice Chewbacca being taken captive and being brought to a transport ship during their confrontation. As the ship takes off, Rey shifts her attention from Kylo to her captured friend and begins to use all the force she has to stop the transport and pull it back to the ground. Kylo attempts to counteract this by pushing the ship away. Control over the ship becomes a battle between Kylo and Rey, much like their battle for Anakin's lightsaber in The Last Jedi. Kylo begins to gain the upper hand, which angers Rey. In her frustration, lightning shoots from her hand, destroying the transport ship and killing all its passengers. Devastated by what she just did, Rey collapses. Some additional footage has been added of both Kylo and Rey's reaction to drive home the sense of shock and denial of what has just transpired. Now that is the official end of Act 1 according to the Jedi Paxis updated plot leaks, and what I'd like to point out before we go any farther is that Chewbacca is not really dead. As you can see in some of the promotional footage we've gotten already, we see Lando and Chewbacca piloting the Falcon together. And if you are familiar with these plot leaks, you will know that Lando has decided to sit the mission on Pasaana out, only to join the rest of the Resistance later in their efforts to take down the First Order. And it seems to suggest that in the very next thing, right after Rey yells Chewie's name, that the very next shot is Chewie and Lando piloting the Falcon together. So, if you're familiar with the plot leaks once again, you will notice that this really doesn't give any concern for worry for the fate of Chewbacca, as we will know he is okay. Because in the very next shot, the literal next still, is Chewbacca piloting the Falcon. So, there is no need to worry about Chewbacca, as he is okay. It's just to continue Rey's character development and realize that she has dabbled slightly too far into the dark side, and that this will be her cause to really reinforce the fact that she doesn't want to end up like Kylo, and that she needs to get her anger, much like Luke did, under control in The Rise of Skywalker. Alright, that wraps things up for me here in this video. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you, and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.